mean, I saved the big one for last. Big as in, I remember I only knew about this book because in the dark side they had mentioned it in the I think in the beginning when they mentioned like the new stuff that has come out, and I said I had to get this, man. I had to get this. I ordered it. I remember the Royal Mail sent me emails telling me where this thing was. Very professional, very good service. About 40 pounds. So with shipping, I paid about 65 hardcover, limited to 800. Right, so I got a signature here from these people. Thank you. And this is number 472 of 800. What are you? Are you a boomer now? You know? Yeah, I'm a boomer. Yes. At this point, at my age, I am a boomer. So, hey, stop. Okay, and there he is. That seems like a likable chap. Um, but I mean, the essentially Hammer made 4 Mummy films. Of course, the Mummy, right? The first one, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Shroud, and Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. Really cool titles. But just this whole thing is just, I mean, you can't get enough. And the intro is sort of, I remember the famous, the expedition Lord Tutankhamun. I remember when I was a kid, I think in 79, the Tutankhamun was brought to the Museum of Natural History. I remember going there to see him, or see him. Well, see his remains. That's probably why my life's been cursed. But I remember that was a big deal. I remember I had a coloring book with all the Egyptian imagery, and for some reason, there's something about. I mentioned it now. There's something about Egypt that always, as an ancient world thing, it was always a very romantic. It always was a mysterious place, even amongst the ancient world. The Romans, the Greeks, the Persians, the Egyptians were still like an enigma to them. Whether they conquered them or ruled them or traded with them, they still could never. There's something about the Egyptians. Spengler mentions it as well. Right? And of course, they go through, of course. Remember, now the whole thing with the Mummy, right, is that in the Boris Karloff classic film, recommended, wonderful film, you only see him as the Mummy in the beginning when he reanimates and he just walks away as a British guy. It goes insane after he sees him. But in terms of the Mummy going around like like choking people and like messing people up and like you only get those in the sequels. Right, and I had done a video years ago of the film collection where the last 3 films, Lon Chaney Jr. played him. So Lon Chaney Jr. really got around. So this Mummy, he had like one arm too. One arm is messed up. He uses the other arm to like choke people and do his business. But anyway, I don't have to go. All this stuff. What am I going to go through with this? I'm going to go through every bloody page? No, I don't. I want you to get this. I'm sure I hope there's more copies. Or maybe this has sold out as I speak. I don't know. But you get more photos of this stuff than you can ever, want. Let me see. This is what's fascinating to me, okay? Oh, remember this actress, beautiful. I like, she actually did scenes as the princess and as the reincarnation, but... going over all the scenes. Oh, I love that scene. Yeah. You should have pressed the button. They told you to press the button anyway. I love this scene too. My man does the backbreaker on this dude. Actually, this dude was not the way the script was written. This guy is the villain, but he's not really the villain. He has a case against them. You disrespected what I hold sacred. So what do you expect me to do in return? Now, I know how this sounds to most of my watchers as a reactionary, but I went over that with the Mummy. To me, the Mummy is truly the tradition of being upset by these progressive modern people who think that everything can be cataloged and tagged and put away in some drawer somewhere. But anyway, as a creative person, you can argue the merits of what I've done, but I like all these sketches. Now, this is really what it's about, right? The scroll of life, remember? These sketches, the design sketches, done everything from this set here where you have the, look at this in terms of, set design. I guess I'm looking at it the wrong way. No, I'm not. Actually, no. I was looking at the... No, yeah, I'm looking at it the wrong way. There you go. Somebody sat down and said, this is going to be the set. Right? Designing all, sketching these things and making these things out of probably, who knows, paper mache. Look at the architectural plans. Everything was just really, led to every detail. More of this, right? Oh, the padded cell set. Remember when he breaks through the window? Now, here's something I've mentioned before, right? In terms of, I didn't know this, but obviously the swamp set is supposed to be like somewhere in England. This set originally was done for the film that was done before this. Probably one of the best, most underrated war films that I have ever seen. Okay, which I only saw on YouTube like probably half a year ago. Yesterday's Enemy. They built this in a swamp. It's supposed to be in Burma or Myanmar, whatever you call it. And this was, of course, that film, a recommended film. Stanley Baker's in it. The scene with him talking with the Japanese officer is very interesting. Very, very interesting film. But essentially, when they built this whole very impressive swamp set, well, damn, let's use it for this film as a more, right? Yeah, more architecture. I mean, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This is what this is what makes the nerd in me go, hey, you even got these the gates. The nursing home, right? The insane asylum. I guess these were made out of. I guess these are not real bricks. I always thought it was cool how the mummy just walks down. Like he's walking down the Ave with the street lamp, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go in here." And of course, the Bernard Robinson, the set designer. I mean, geez, this guy was able to do the studies. Always, the studies. I always love the studies in these films. The brandy carafe nearby. Where is it? There it is. There it is. You can't hide from me, brandy carafe. Anyway, obviously we go through. I mean, there's so much stuff here. You have the posters from Japan. You have the multiple bills they had on here. You have the cards they used to have in the lobbies, okay, which you don't have anything like that. So, next film, of course, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. This is the last one I'd seen. The Pharaoh, right? The Wrath of the Pharaoh. So, the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, this was the last of the four I had seen. Great film. Very interesting. This character, of course, is a very interesting character. And the actress, too. This Eurasian actress was really... Everything was in it. The mummy really looks like a bad dude in this. He's like a robot or something. But recommended film as well. And they show, okay, more of this. Okay, paper mache is very underrated. Such design. Now, the mummy shot, I saw a while ago. I don't remember. I think it was probably my least favorite of it, but it was... In some ways, I remember it as it being very sad, because the mummy, in this case, he was a bodyguard for the pharaoh's son, who was being chased by usurpers, and both of them died in the desert, and he died basically protecting the body of this young, royal kid. So there was always a little tragic sense to this mummy, although you could argue though that this mummy doesn't look as good as the other mummies. He just looks like, I don't know, he could be like some kind of some crappy superhero show or something, or something from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. But a lot of good murder scenes in it. Michael Ripper, I think in this scene he was playing like a little. Usually he plays like a solid little dude or whatever, but in this scene he was like a toady, crying like a little bitch before he gets chucked out the window. Anyway, and just look at all this stuff, man. Look at all this. Now, save the best for last. I want you to get this. Of course, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. One of my favorite films. I saw it as a kid. Obviously, it was edited for TV. Creepy. I didn't know what was going on. Mysterious. And also mean-spirited. It seemed like everybody in the film was out to, you couldn't trust them, or they would stab you in the back, or they would sit like the gay orderlies in the asylum, very sadistic, people. So, and of course, this. And I don't want to belabor the point for this woman who's a blonde actually, but this probably one of the, I think probably my favorite Hammer actress, the most beautiful woman they ever had. And she only did what? So, oh man, right, Terra, Queen Terra. Of course, this is based on the Bram Stoker Jewel 7 Stars that had gone over. So, see, okay, to all y'all people out there, all you Anne Rice fans, this is what Akasha would have looked like. This is what she would have looked like. No offense, I like, oh man, how am I forgetting her name? The Aaliyah. Aaliyah was beautiful. You know what? It's fine. But this is what Akasha actually would have looked like. Okay, and whatever you're doing with that stupid vampire Lestat show, I don't even want to see who the actresses you picked for it. So, look at it. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures. Look at it. They have a walking the dog somewhere in on the street. You come out. Look at this. Jeez. All right, enough. Simp. All right. So what I thought was, let's end this here. What's interesting about this section here, going through the actors, is that they go over. You have the thumbnails, right? Oh, look at this. You have the set designs. You have the sketches for things. Look how good this stuff is. Right? This is where comics come out of, by the way. Obviously, a very troubled production. The director had a heart attack. Seth Holt died during it. Cushing was in it briefly before his wife died. But what's interesting to me is they go through the film in order. So you see the script in order. You see what was shot up until the point that the director died. And then you see when Michael Carreras comes in. But this was fascinating to me. Okay. Which is, the Hammer Films Productions Daily Progress Report. Hammer was always, as any company would be, I'm sure Shaw Brothers was the same. Every penny was accounted for. They did not want to go over budget with these things, and the way they managed that was this Daily Progress Report. So you have, of course, a military time because everybody was in the military, right? You added 12 to it for the PM for all y'all out there that aren't used to it. You have the name of the actors of the day. You have the minutes, the amount of time. You have the film roll numbers. You have the... it's just, Peter Cushing was released from the set at lunchtime. His scheduled scenes had been completed due to an illness at home, right? So they even mentioned... Somebody types this up at the end of the day. Very big on this. And, of course, the script, Christopher Wicking. So it's just cool. They show how they shoot it up until... everything here, just fascinating. The ending was filmed before a lot of the other scenes, right? Like they did a lot of the kill scenes after the filming was shot. They even did the scene with all the characters. Interesting. They did the beginning scene after. Of course, you don't film stuff in order. You film stuff efficiently. That makes sense. Michael Carreras came in after Seth Holt. Yeah, remember how grisly it was? This is what they cut out on TV as cut. So, and these scumbags. And this poor bastard. Remember this dude? Probably one of the most horrible. Oh, remember this dude? Yeah, I didn't like this guy. Probably one of the most horrible deaths I've ever seen in a film. The terror on this guy, as he's trapped and there's no way of escape. But it's interesting to see all that. That is all, it's a set, the window and everything, and you get all these dudes here. And most fascinating to me of all, right, a handheld camera. They shot this with a handheld camera. Yeah, they had those back then. I keep forgetting. I keep thinking everything's on a damn tripod. So... all right, I've gone over long enough with this call sheet. Anyway, yeah, Valerie Owen, you're one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, actually. All right, enough. You get the drift, mate. Man, this will hammer somebody for sure later.